Thank you, Parian. Good morning, everyone. So let's continue because we have some tight schedule for today because we just finished the scene one yesterday in the second days of workshop. So we have to finish all of things today, but later I will have some additional material that can be useful for you to use, maybe to download to search the fonts or creating your own icons and so on. So maybe I will have like another half an hour before we close for the conclusion and summary. And then maybe there is a closing remark from the ASEANstats and Arise Plus after that. So maybe if we cannot finish everything by today, I think like the scene 5 to 7 is just a repetitive things that we already do in the scene 1 to 5. So let's focus on to finish everything to scene 5, and then scene 6 and 7, actually you can see how it goes or how to make that one in the video material. So let me share the screen first. So in case we cannot finish everything by today for all the scene, actually you can see in the video material folder and then go to the After Effects project file folder in here. You can see each scene, or you can download the full composition folder. This one is already have everything technical from scene 1 to scene 7. So you can see how the animation, how to make the animation or something, you can see it in here. And if you want to see each scene, so maybe if you want to see the scene 1, 2, 3 animation, you can go with the scene 4 or and so on. If you want to see the scene 1 to 4 animation and how to make it in After Effects, you can download the scene 5 folder, something like that. So before we begin, yesterday I just mentioned you how to download the Mr. Horse plugin. So if you go to the Mr. Horse in here and then download the plugins for the After Effects, I'm sorry, I just missed some step in this one. So if you just download for Mac or download for Win, what you download is not the plugin itself. What you download is the package manager. So the package manager for the Mr. Horse plugin is something that like an administrative tools. So you have to download this one first. So download it for Mac or download it for Windows. And then you have to log in. You can sign up for free in here. Sign up for the Mr. Horse account, and you download this one. And after you download it and install the one that you already downloaded, this one, after you already download this one and then you install this one, you are not installing the plugin yet. What you install is a program called this one. I think this is the same in the Windows. So go to the application folder, or maybe in the Windows, it is in the program files, and then the application, and then you can go to search for this one, the Mr. Horse Product Manager. So this is the one that you are installing. So you can open up this one, and then I think if you are first time open this one, you have to log in. So you can log in using the account that you already created in the Mr. Horse website. And then after you already log in, don't forget to go to this one, After Effects. So in the After Effects, what you have to do is you have to enable this one, the plugins, Animation Composer 3, and you click install in here. In my case, it's update because I already installed it. And every time you want to update the plugins, just go into this product manager again, and then go to the update. And then after that, go scroll down until you go see the packs in here. And the starter pack is the one that that is already a default, so you can download it. Just click install in here, and it will be downloaded, and will be put into your After Effects. The other one in the bottom, this is the one that you already purchased. So in my case, I already purchased the 3D motion preset. I already have purchased the motion preset and 2D special effects. So I already have something in here like this. But if you haven't purchased, you cannot see anything in here, just the starter pack. So what we use for this workshop is just the starter pack. But if you need, if you see this one is as an investment and it is a good one, maybe you can try to purchase the other things in here. Okay, so make sure that you install the Animation Composer 3, and in the packs, install the starter pack. And after that, after you already install everything in here, you can just close this one. Okay, and after that, you can open up your Adobe After Effects, and it should be on the window, and then Animation Composer. Okay, that's the step if you want to use the Animation Composer. Okay, let's continue on the one that, sorry, the one that we already create yesterday. So yesterday we already creating something like this. So the Earth is already refilled in, move to the left side, and the animation for the Sustainable Development Goals logo, and then the text animation of the SDG implementation. So in the preview video, later on we have like a transition. So the transition is from after we already refill everything in here, they will fade out the text and the logo, and then it will zoom in into the Earth itself. So let's make that one first. Okay, so there is a timing, there is a good timing. So as you can see in here, we just finished our voiceover in here. So there is this is the best practice if you want to create the transition. So the transition, we have to give some delay first after the voiceover. Sometimes it's around 1 to 2 seconds. So I usually go with 2 seconds. So to give the viewer some space to digest the things first in here. And after the voiceover is already finished, that is on the 7 second and 7 frame. So I think I will give the viewer 1 second first, 1 second delay in 8, more or less, something like that. And the slider, we can extend it maybe around here. And from this one, I will fade out this one, the Sustainable Developments and Goals and the text. So we select 3 of them by holding Shift. So we already select 3 of them. And then in here, I will go with the T to open up the opacity. So I will fade out using the opacity. So in here, I will add the keyframe, and then the animation maybe goes around less than 1 second. We don't have to make it very long. And in here, we just change the opacity from 100% to 0%. So they will fade out in here. And again, we are using the F9, or maybe if you want to use you don't comfortable using the shortcut, maybe you can right click on it and then go to the keyframe assistant and just go with easy is. That is the same thing. Okay, so it's already fed out. And right now, we will make this, we will now make this one, we will zoom in into this Earth. So to make, actually we can make it something like this. We can just scale it up and scale the Earth itself, and we will zoom in into that one. But I will show you some other tricks that is using the camera. Okay, to use the camera, we have to go to this one first, go to the layer and new, and use the camera. The camera will control everything in your composition. This is something like when people shooting some film or some movie, they are using the camera, and then the camera will move around to make some like a dynamic shoot or something like that. This is the same thing. So the camera will control everything that you see in the composition. Okay, so we will go to the layer, new, and camera in here. It will insert the camera into the layer in here. So yeah, in this one, don't forget to enable depth of field. Depth of field is something that if you go with maybe like DSLR camera, the one that, or maybe in the smartphone camera right now, when you focus on something in front of you and then in the background there will be a blur, or maybe you can have a focus for some object, and then the other one, the one that in front of that or in the back of that object will get blurred. That is the depth of field. So you can enable this one. And then the preset, actually this one is, you can search for, you can go with anything else. I will use the 50 millimeters, but if you want to go with 35, I think this is the most popular camera, the 35 or 50, both of them is fine. This is the length of the lens itself. So the longer this one is, the longer depth of field and wider of that lens. So I think the normal one is 35 and 50 millimeters. I will go with the 50 millimeters and then click OK. Okay, and you will have a warning. Camera lights do not affect 2D layers. So we have to turn our layers into 3D, but it's okay. We'll just click OK right now. And it will have a camera on top of that layers in here. So to control the camera easily, actually you can go with directly using the camera itself, but it's rather hard in After Effects. So this is also the tips and trick and the best practice that I use a lot. So you can go to the layer, new, and null object in here. The null object is a null that is there is not existence in your composition. It just become your helper to do something. Actually, you can make this null to become anything. You can attach this one to other things or other layer, and to help you maybe connecting 2 or 3 layers into one. So whenever you change this null object, they will change the layer that attached to this null object is also changed. But in this case, we will attach this camera to the null object to control it much easier. So before we depth into this one. So we have to change this null object. So make sure that you select the null object in the layers in here, and then search for this one. This is when with the cube icon, this is 3D layer. Just enable this one by clicking on the null object. So whenever you click on this one and make this one appear in that layer, this means this layer is now a 3D layer, not just a 2D layer. So the difference between 2D and 3D is 2D only 2D only have two coordinates, X and Y. X is for the one that goes horizontal. Y is the one that goes vertical, up and down. So in the 3D, so when we click on this 3D, the null object is already 3D layer, and we hit P for position, there will be 3 value. Before, if we go to the, for example, this shape layer, as you can see, this is just a 2D layer. For the P or the position, it just have 2 value, the X and the Y. But right now, if we go to the 3D, we have like the X, this is the first one, and Y, this is the second value, and Z, that is for the depth. So actually, when we turn it into 3D, we can control the depth also. That is the difference between the 2D layer and 3D layer. 2D layer cannot have some depth, so they are just moving up, down, left, and right. But with 3D, we can have a depth also. That it's a Z axis. So that is the main difference between the 2D and 3D layer. Okay, and then the next thing, that after we already make the null object is a 3D layer, we will attach this camera to the null object. So every time we move the null object, it will move the camera itself. To attach that one, actually you can just go with the parent and link in here. You can change this parent for the camera. We will go to the null one. As simple as that. Or I will revert it again to none. Or you can use this one. This is pick whip. So the pick whip is the short way if you want to parent something. So for example, for this camera, I will add the pick whip, just hold, click and hold it until you have like a whip in here, and then just direct it into the null object. That is the same thing. You will have the parent for the null for the camera to become the null object in here. So every time we move in here, and put in mind that the camera affecting when I move in here, there is nothing changed because we haven't made this one, the layer for the earth itself, to become a 3D. So the next thing that we have to do is making this 3 layer, the shape layer 1, the world map, and the shape layer 2. This one is the mask for the world map. This is the world map itself, and this one is for the drop shadow. So we have to make this 3 layer into a 3D layer. So you can select 3 of them, like this one, and then enable the 3D layer. That is this column, the one that using the with the cube icon in here. Just click on them. Now on the 3D, now it's already become the 3D layer. So when we change the null, so for example, we go to the null. When we change something in here, it will affecting all the 3D layers in that composition. So when I move this one, I go to this one, it's already affecting. So it's easier for us to make like a zoom in effect or something like that. Okay, so now rather than we make these 3 items like scale and something like that, scale, change the position, we just change the position of the null object. It will be much easier. So let's make the keyframe for the null object in here. After the text is already until the text already finish animating to fade out, we will add the keyframe for the position in here, and then we can have this handle in here. As you can see, the yellow handle is for the y axis, the red handle is for the x axis, or you can use this one, but I prefer using the handle in here. So after we already have this keyframe, and then maybe about around in here, 1 second animation, we can make it go through this one, and then we want to zoom in here. So I don't know if you can see this one. So this is the Z axis. Actually, if you are hard to see this one or hard to handle this one, just use the one that in here, in the position. So the third value, or the one that on the right, this is the Z. So in here, we want to increase the value, so it will zoom in everything. Just zoom in until you get what you want. Zoom in here, and then with the X also, maybe I want to zoom in into this one and zoom in again. Okay, later on we will make this as fast as possible, so the effect of the zoom is very visible. So maybe we want to make it more shorter animation, and then you can just see something like that. And then for the transition to the next scene, actually we will do that. We will make the transition when we compose everything. So in this scene, because we are just talking about scene 1, we just prepare the animation. But the transition between the scene 1 to scene 2 will be on the final composition. So we will combine every scene in here into one in the final composition. So later on, we will make it like that. So for now, it's good if we have something just like this. Okay. And then we will make the keyframe assistant and easy ease. Something like that. And then the end in here, we will just make the end maybe around here. And then maybe you can just preview it. And if you're already satisfied with the animation, don't forget to save, because we have to save a lot in here in case our computer is not acting very good. Sometimes it will force close our application. So we have always remember to save every time. Okay, that's for the scene 1. Now we will move into the scene 2. So for scene 2, you can again, you can import this one by double clicking on the empty space in here. Okay, just double click on this in this one, and then go to the scene and select the scene 2. Again, in this one, change from the import as in here to the composition retain layer sizes. And then create the composition is checked. And don't check this one, Illustrator PDF EPS sequence. If you check this one, the After Effects will detect because we already named this file like in sequence, scene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they will import everything in here. So we don't want to import everything. We just want to import the scene 2 in here. So remember to uncheck this one, the one in the bottom. We don't want this one. We just want to create a composition check. The Illustrator PDF EPS sequence left unchecked. And don't forget to use the composition retain layer sizes. Okay, we click open. Right now we already have like scene 2 composition in here and scene 2 layers. We don't touch this one. So we just go with the scene 2 in here, double click on that one. Right now, we already have something like this. Again, the one in here is the default background is black. So we go to the composition setting, and turn this one to a white one, or other things, other color if you want. But in my case, I will go with the white one. Okay, so right now we already have the things in here. Everything is already in place. Every layer is already in here. So we will make some animation. So if we see in here, as you can see, there is an animation of the background. The background is moving slowly from the left to the right side, and then refill the Myanmar maps in there. After we already refill every icon of the SDG and the text. Okay, let's do that first. So because we already have the VO, so we will base our duration of each scene using the voiceover. So we put the voiceover first. So in the voiceover folder, the VO folder in here, we will use the number 2. This is for the scene 2, and we will put it on the bottom like this. And for the best practice of this one, I will zoom in the duration. We will start everything after 1 second. So this is the best practice, the tips and trick also for combining one scene to other scene. Usually I'm giving them 1 second time. So every animation will start from this one. The same thing with the voiceover. So this 1 second left in here is to be used for transitioning from one scene to other scene when we final compositing it. So this 1 second in here will be just like a threshold after if we want to make it transition. So we will just leave this 1 second as a blank one. Okay, so the duration for this one is about until 8 seconds. So because we already have the voiceover, this is our minimum duration. And then maybe around here, it will start transitioning it. So 1 second before and 1 second after, or if you want to have 2 seconds after, it's fine also. Just make sure you have some delay before transitioning it. And maybe I will put the 10 second in here, and I will hit N to make to mark the animation, the duration of the scene until this one only. Okay, the first thing that we want to animate is the background. So the trick on this one, because as you can see, the position of the Myanmar maps will be revealed just on the end. So we have to animate the big maps and the Myanmar maps in the same time also. So because we already have this duration, so I will select both of them, the Myanmar map and the big map. And maybe I will enlarge it, or we don't have to enlarge it. Sorry, we have to enlarge this one. But at first, because we want to enlarge this one, as you can see, if I enlarge this one, the position of the Myanmar map will be this place with the big map. That is because they have a different anchor. The big map anchor is in this one. The Myanmar map anchor is in this one. So we have to make the anchor on the same place first. So to make that one, go to the big map in here and go to the pen behind or anchor point and just put it on the center of the Myanmar map, more or less in here. Or you can go to the Myanmar map and see this is the anchor, and go back into the big map in here and just put it in here like that. Okay, just more or less. Just switch between them to see if the anchor map is already aligned. You don't have to be exact, but more or less it's the same. So after you already align it, something like this, go back into using the selection tool in here and select both of the layer and just enlarge it. Right now, they will enlarge in the same scale, like this. And I will put it like this. Okay. Right now, after we just select both of them, go to the P in here, and then click on the keyframe for the position at the beginning. And then after that, in 10 seconds or more, we will move the maps until maybe around this one. So the maps will move very slowly, just a subtle, until you will have something like this. And then, of course, you can just ease in this one. Or if you don't want it, because this is just a linear thing from one thing to other position. If you don't want to ease that one, I think it's fine. I will just leave that one uneased. So like that. And maybe around this one, because we want to refill the maps before in the last sentence in here, maybe around this one. As you can see, this is maybe just 1 second before the voiceover is finished. I will add the Myanmar map to have like an opacity. So with holding shift, hit the T in here to open up the opacity for the Myanmar map or the layer 19 in here. Click on that opacity, and we want to have like 1 second animation. So we will move the 100% to this one, and we will change in here to become 0%. And yes, you can ease on this one. So right now, when it goes like this, they will open the Myanmar map will be highlighted in here. Later on, we can just move this one Maybe if we want to make it faster, depend on the voiceover is said, we can just change this one, but I will put it in here, more or less. And right now, we want to make the animation for each of this icon. So this animation is from the layer 18 until the layer 2. So to select everything in here, just click on the layer 18 or above the layer of, or you can select this one, the number 1, and then hold down the shift and select the top layer. It will select everything in here. So we can use the manual animation by using the scale, but let's try to use the animation composer for this one. So you can go to the animation composer, and then I think you will have the starter preset only in here, the folder for starter preset, because the motion preset is the one that I already purchased, so that will appear in here. But you can go with the starter preset, just extend this one, and you will have this one, the transition 2D layer and transition 3D layer. The transition for 2D layers is something that for the reveal in and reveal out for the 2D layer, or in that for the 2D 2D animation. The 3D is something that you will have like rotating in 360 in the Z axis, something like that. But we will just go with the transition 2D layer in here. And then just open this one. And because this is the starter preset, this is the free version, you will just have not a lot of animation in here. But you can get like the bounce in here, or the position, or that overshoot. Overshoot is something that goes very fastly, so you don't see something that have a bouncing on the end, something like that. But because this one is a corporate animation, maybe we don't have to use the one in here. Maybe we can use the, if you want to use the fat cubic in here, or maybe like the, yeah, because in the free version it's very limited, but it will help you. Maybe we can use this bounce. So while we're selecting every layer in here, click on the in transition. So when you click on this one, it will give the animation for each of this layer to have like the bounce, something like that. The bounce, but not very bouncy. So I think it's still relevant with the theme. Okay, so right now, again, if you want to extend to make it faster, you just make this one, but I think the default is already good. So right now, what we need to do is just arranging this layer. So select every layer that have this TR in. TR in is for the transition in, because we just click on the in before. And then we will start it after the voiceover is already begin also. So maybe around this one. Okay, so to make the sequence to appear, to make the icon appear one by one, we just arrange this one. So this is the first one, so it will be appear first. And maybe for the second one, or the second icon, it will be appear maybe around this one. So in here, you will just to measure manually. Just make it in the same length. If you have like the difference between the first icon to the second icon to have this space, just make sure it goes along the same length for the next thing. Something like this. And you have to measure it again to refill everything before this one. So if you think you don't have much thing, maybe when you go first, it have this very much different. I think it will make it, we don't have much time until this one. So just make sure that you measure it correctly. So when we go like this, everything will be finished before we hitting the animation for the next one. Or maybe if you want to overlap it, yeah, overlap this one by a little, I think it's still fine. Or if you have, okay, something like this, I think this should be fine. So the animation for the icon will be appear one by one, and then after that it will appearing the animation of the Myanmar map highlighting in here. Okay, something like that, more or less. Or maybe you want to preview it first. See,
SDGs 2030 agenda, in which goals and targets is being implemented by all countries around the world, including Myanmar.
Yeah, I think that's already looking good.
SDGs 2030 agenda.
So we don't have to make it more faster, the animation. And then the next thing, if we want to add the text in here, again, the text, you can use the horizontal type tool in here, but rather before we just click on this one, but right now we will make a bounding box. We will create the bounding box around like this. The difference between the bounding box or we just click it, if we click it, the text will, if we copy paste the text from the Illustrator, it will be on the one row, and you have to click enter to make the new row. But if you already have this bounding box, when you copy it from the Illustrator, for example, this one, the length of the paragraph will not be exceeding this bounding box. So it will remain that one. So if you want to extend the paragraph, you can just use this one, or if you want to shorten the paragraph width, you can just use this one. So it will be easier for you to control the text. So for in my case, I will just have like this one. Okay. And now for this one, again, we can go to the animation composer and then go to the text layer. And we will use the one that we already used before. This is also the best practice. Just use one type of the animation for the entire text in your video, because if you have a lot of animation, it will sometimes distracting the viewer to have a familiar with your video. So just use the one that you already used before. So I will use this one. Click in, and yeah, we can collapse this one, and the text will begin after maybe around this one, after the voiceover is already starting, and you can change the duration of the animation. I would think I will make it 2 seconds, and then just try to preview it.
The SDGs 2030 agenda, in which goals and targets is being implemented by countries around the world, including Myanmar.
Yes, that is because the first preview is just rendering. So after you already have the green voice, this is your true duration of that scene. So just
The SDGs
re-preview it
2030
again.
agenda, in which goals and targets is being implemented by all countries around the world, including Myanmar.
Okay, we already have something like that. And then after that, it's also have this zoom in. So this kind of transition is called the infinite zoom. This is a very popular trends nowadays. So you with rather than just transition it, fading, fade out in this kind of style of transition, it's some things that more lively. So because it's just zoom in, and maybe you can zoom out, zoom in and zoom out, just play around with that one. It will make the video looks more alive and seamless rather than just fading out or fading in, something like that. So for this one, this is the same when we created before. So go to the layer, new, camera. So the camera is only controlling the composition. So before we add the camera for the scene 1 composition, if we make another composition like scene, in this case is scene 2, we have to create another camera. Okay, I will have the same settings. So the camera in here, and then go to the layer, new, null object again. And right now the null object is 3D. The same thing for everything, because right now we want to control everything in here. So make everything as a 3D in here. You can just select everything in here and then click on the 3D column. So it will become a 3D. You don't have to worry, it will not changes anything in your in your animation. It just make sure this one is as a 3D. So for this one, after it's already finished, finish the voiceover, 1 second after that, it will zoom in into this one. So on the null, I don't forget also to pick with the camera into the null. So right now the null is controlling the camera. Just hit P to open up the position. Click on the position in here. And then just add, like, we will move this one into the Z, sorry, the X. And then we want to zoom in. And then we want to move again here. And we want to make it a little bit up and zoom in again until every scene in here is covered by the blue highlight of the Myanmar map. That way, it will have something like this. Later on, the transition, we will make it on the final composition. I will ease this one. Okay, and then just preview it one more time. Okay, now for the real
2030 agenda, in which goals and targets is being implemented by all countries around the world, including Myanmar.
Okay,
ESD
I think it's
2030
already looking good. So let's move into the next scene. So go to the project again in here, double click on the blank space, go to the scene tree in here. Don't forget to change this one composition, rotate, and layer sizes, and then make sure you check on the create composition and click open. And if you want to continue from this one, maybe you can download the scene 3 folder. So you will have like the scene 1 and scene 2 animation already finished, and scene 3 is already put in there. Okay, save it. Don't forget to save it. And right now we will start animating the scene 3. So just open the scene 3 in here, double click on that one. Again, change the background color. So go to the composition setting, or you can go with the shortcut Command K or Control K. Change the background color into white. Click OK. And then in this one, let's see the preview first. In this one, after already transition that one, and we will have something like that, and then like a 3D. Now we will use the 3D camera to transition between this one. So actually scene 3 and 4 will combine into one composition, because we will use the same world, the same camera to change this one. As you can see, when this is the scene 3, but when moving this to scene 4, they just zoom in to the camera to have the scene 4 in here. So everything in here will be taken care of with using the 3D camera. Okay, so let's start the scene 3 first. So in the scene 3, make everything on the 3D. So you can select everything in here, or the second way is just click and then drag it to the bottom like that. It's fine. Either way is good. So you can just do whatever that you are comfortable with. Or you can just click one by one. Just make sure everything is on 3D, because we will using a full 3D layer for this one. Okay, so again, this one we can go to the layer and create the camera, and then layer again, and we will add the null object. Okay, make the null object 3D, and then pick whip the camera into the null object. So right now the null object will controlling the camera. So because we already make everything a 3D, so right now we can change everything in here. Okay, as you can see from this one, when at first with this one, there is a transition like zooming in to enter the scene 3 in here. Maybe we can use this one. We can use we can use this one. We will make the camera first. We will move the camera to zoom into this scene. So to make that one, we go to the null object first in here. Again, we will have like 1 second threshold. So 1 second, this one is to be used on the transition later on. So you can start from this one, because This one will be used for the transition. So we will use from 0 point in here. And we will hit P for the null object and add the keyframe. And this keyframe is to become the final keyframe for the camera itself. So we will move, after we make the keyframe, we will move it into 1 second. So right now, what we want to do is we want to have something like this, because later on we want to zoom in from far to become like this. And then after that, we will reveal the logo, the publication, the shadow, and the publication for this one. But the problem is, right now, we have this blank space. So for this blank space, we can just enlarge this one. We can just enlarge this and enlarge this one also, and just rearrange this one. So later on, it will have something like this. But the main problem for the second one is for transitioning after this one. After the scene 3, we will have scene 4 in the same composition. So we have to make sure also this one, this layer for the background will still visible when we when we zoom in again. So to make that, we go to the layer 1, that is this background, and hit P. And we want to make this one the Z index or the Z1, the Z value, to become more or less something like this. This way, when we animating it, animating the position of the null object or the camera, it will still visible when we goes into the scene 4. So again, for this one, we can enlarge this one to fill this blank. Okay, so right now it will move like this, but later on when we zoom in for the scene 4, it's still right there also. Okay, I think it's already good in here. We can ease in this one. Okay, and right now we want to refill everything in here. Okay, to refill this one, we will just use the, you can use the animation composer, but I think for this one, I will give you an example if we want to make it in a manual animation. Okay, so for this one, select everything. So the logo, the publication, and also the shadow with holding shift. And then we will move this one like this, because we will start everything on the first second like this. So in here, we can just hit S for the scale. So we will scale it from 0 to become the original point. So hit the keyframe in here and move all the keyframe, maybe around less than 1 second. I think it will go from here. And then just hit one of them in here. Just click on from 0 and from 100 to become 0. So we already have the animation from 0 to 100%. And then you can select everything and hit F9 or easy ease, something like that. And then we can rearrange everything in here. And don't forget to add the voiceover 2 because this will be our initial duration. So we can use this one to become the duration of our scene. Okay, right now, the first one that will be appear is this logo. So the logo will be put in here, and then the publication and the shadow. So the shadow will move around this one, and this publication will move around this one. Or if you want to make it a bit longer, I think it's fine. And as you can see, this one is the book goes from the middle of from here. If you want to appear from this one, just change, just move the slider into this one, click on the book, and then go with the pen behind or the anchor point. So the anchor point, move it below like this. So that way, when it scale up, it scale from the bottom or from the point of this one. So this anchor point will control the direction of that scaling. This is the same thing for this one. If you want to change it, you can just change the anchor point to be put in here. Okay, so right now we want to put the shadow also for this one. So we can just right click on it. Oh, there is no right click on it. So just click on this one and then use the Command D or Control D to duplicate it. Or you can go to the edit and duplicate in here. It will duplicate the shadow. So the shadow, we can move in right this one and put it on the same position of this one. And then change the position also in the scene like that. So right now, it will have the animation of the logo, the animation of the first publication, and the second publication. Okay, that's it for the for this one. Also, I forgot about the text. So to create the text, just add the horizontal, this one, and don't forget to use the bounding box. And then just copy paste it from the Illustrator. Copy paste everything, put it in there. So it will be the same. Okay, so for this animation, we can go with the animation from the animation composer using the same one, collapse this one, and then it will starting after the text, the voiceover, and just have this text because this one is a bit long. So just make sure that you have something like that. And don't forget to turn the 3D on this one. Okay, so if you turn the 3D, actually this one will play along when we already have the zoom in effect later on. Okay, so right now, we will make this one transition after 1 second after the voiceover is already finished, and we will transition it like this one. So in here, in the null object, add the keyframe first because we want to make sure that the keyframe will stay along from this point to this point. And then after that, maybe around half of the second, it will zoom in. So just zoom in using this one. Just zoom in until you get something more or less like this one. And then we will manipulate everything in here. So for the logo, this one, and the text also if you want, and the shadow also. We will make this one to have the opacity. So we will make the opacity from 100% to become 0, like that. Also, you can make it, select everything and make it ease in. So something like that. Just make sure that everything in here, I will put the text below the camera. Just make sure that this everything to be on the same thing like this. So, or you can just make it shorter. And then if you want to preview it, just preview it if it's already looking good or not. Yeah, I think it's already looking good. So to have something like that. And maybe I want to make this background to become a lot, positioning it something around here. So when it goes in here, it's still on the same center like this. So right now, we already make the transition from scene 3 to scene 4. So we will just import our scene 4. So go to the project again. I will collapse this one. Double click on the blank space and select scene 4. Don't forget to composition retain layer sizes and check the create composition and click open. Okay, right now we already go into the scene 4. So just double click it, and we will not creating the scene 4 in here. We will creating the scene 4 in the scene 3 composition because we already have the background in here and we already set up the stage. So we will just copy the layer from the scene 4 into the scene 3 after we already animating this one. So you can go to the composition setting, and make sure this one have the white background. And we will have this animation for each of this icon, and also for this one, and also for the text itself. So to animating this one, we will have to create this one as a vector. So when we importing the AI files into this After Effects, it will have this AI logo attached on each layer, but this one is still on the raster type of image. So that means we cannot change everything, or we cannot animate the line for this one. So to animate the line for this one, to make this one as a stroke again, just select this this layer and then right click on it and click create and create shape from vector layer. It will make a new layer and it will hit the original layer, and you can delete this one. And now layer 6 is already outlined as the one that we create in the Illustrator. So that way, because we already make this an outline, we can add like this animation. So you can open up this one, expand the outline, and then from the add in here, just click add, and then you can add the trim path. It will add it in the bottom, trim path, and then open up the trim path. And in this trim path, there is a start, end, and offset. Start the starting point of this one. So before that one, we want to change the end to become 0, like this. So whenever we start with the start from 0 to 100%, it will reveal the animation of that line automatically. It will help us to create the animation. So again, this one is already have the keyframe. So click on that one, and I will zoom in the duration. And in 1 second, I will add 100%. So that way, we will have the animation refill for the stroke from 0 to 100%. And this one, the trim multiple shape simultaneously. So if we have like a multiple shape, actually like this one, there is in the branch and the leaf and the bird, it will, the animation will go simultaneously. Everything will go to begin at the same time, but we can use this one individually. So if we choose individually, it will one by one like this. And if you want to change the sequence, the one that you want to animate first, you just change this one. As you can see, when I click group 1, this one is the leaf on the top left. Group 2 is the leaf for this one. Group 3, group 4, 5. So the sequence of the animation will follow this. Will follow this one. So if you want to maybe have the bird animated first, just click on this one and then rearrange this one to be on top. So that way, the bird will animating first. Something like that. Okay, just click on that one. Yeah, I think it's already good. So I will use this animation. And then we can ease in on this one also. So to copy this one, because we don't want to setting this up if we have a lot of layer to be animated like this, you can copy this one. So just click on the stream path and then Command C or Control C to copy this one. Hit it maybe around 2 times or 3 times to make sure. Okay, and then you can just collapse this one, or you can just click U. U is for some for every keyframe that you already create. For maybe in the scale position, it will open up all the keyframe, so you don't have a very long things like this one. It will just make it will just refill the one that you already have a keyframe on it. Okay, so let's go into this one. So this, for the second icon, right click on it, click create, and click create shape from vector layer. And the original layer, you can just delete it. And also for this one, right click on it, create shape from vector layer, and the original file, original layer, you can just delete it. And now for to copy paste that one, just move the slider for the first for the beginning of the animation or the trim path. That in my case is in the 0 second in here, and just click or hit on the keyboard Command V. Right now, when you click U, it will have the same thing. So it will copy the setting from the one that you just click copy from the trim pad. The same thing with this one, Command V, and click U to see if it already pastes it or not. So right now we already have animation like this for each of the icons. Okay. Now we want to make the animation for the text. So we will just add the horizontal type tool in here and just click this one. Go to the Illustrator and then just copy paste this one. Copy and paste it in here. Okay, rearrange this one maybe around here like this. And then in here, I will use the animation composer and use the same one on in, and maybe I will make this one a lot faster, so maybe about half a second. So this one is peaceful, so it will be goes into the bottom one in here. Okay, and then the next one, we can duplicate it by hitting Control D or Command D in the keyboard, and goes to this one and rearrange here in the bottom, and just change this text, become something like that. Again, we can Control D or Command D. Oops, sorry. Rearrange the layer and rearrange also the position in here. And copy paste it from this one. Okay, now we already have this animation. It's full for the text, the icon, and the one that in here, the circle and the shadow. We just select everything, circle, the shadow, the circle, and the circle for the prosperous and the circle for democratic. In here, we just only using a scale and add the animation, add the keyframe, put it maybe around here, and then just change it into 0, from 0, and then select everything and use F9 to ease that one. Right now we have something like this, but as you can see, the animation for the text and the icon should be after the circle. So we just rearrange this one, the peaceful and the icon. We will just rearrange this one, maybe overlapping it a little bit. So right there. Okay, I think it's good. And I will make this one a little bit faster. And the same thing with this one. Just rearrange that one. And also for this one, rearrange it in here and rearrange the animation. And also for the shadow, we can just duplicate it. Duplicate, rearrange this one into this one, and rearrange also in here. Again, duplicate it, rearrange this one until we have like 3 animation in here like this. So yeah, we can just preview that one, put the end in here. Let's see if it's already looking good or not. I think it's already looking good. Okay, so right now we already we can copy paste this one into the scene 3. But before that, I will go to the scene 3 first, because in this one, when it goes to scene 3, there is a text like this one first. And after that, the text will go up, and the scene will zoom in into each of this based on the voiceover. So that's a little bit challenging. So we will go through that one by one. So for this one, in the scene 3, we will extend the thing in here, and we will add the voiceover first. So we want to add the voiceover right after we already have something in here. So we will go to the VO, and we will add the number 4 MP3 and put it on top of here to make sure this one is already the voiceover. And yeah, extend this one again because the voiceover is a bit long. And then in here, we will add the text for this one. Just copy paste it and paste it down in here. And don't forget to make this one a 3D. So when you click on this one, the 3D, it will have a different position. So we can rearrange this one. Just click on P, and then just change the Z value 1 in here. Make it on more or less something like this. Okay, and then rearrange this one also, because we want to have this one like this. And then at the animation composer, the same thing. I will add this one, collapse this one. Okay, so when they goes through this one, they will have something like this. And then we have to hear the voiceover first, because
To accomplish these agenda, Myanmar Sustainable Development Plan 2018 to 2030 was launched by the government of Myanmar with a theme of peaceful progress.
as you can see, the theme for peaceful, democratic, prosperous, and democratic, it starts in here. So we cannot, we can prepare the things for this title to be animated after this one. So we can hit P on this one and add the keyframe. And we will change this keyframe and put it on top here, like this one is in this one. So when the prosperous and everything goes in here, it will zoom in into each of the things of the icon in here. So to make it easier, just open up this one, the MP3 file, put the audio and the waveform. So sometimes we can see the waveform or the text in here, so we can see the timing. So let me play again.
Of Myanmar with a theme of peaceful prosperous, and democratic Myanmar.
So peaceful is from this one, peaceful, prosperous, and democratic. So this is our cue to start the animation of the of everything from here. So just realign the time indicator in here and go to the scene 4 and copy paste everything. So to copy paste the layer, just select the one at the top and then hold down the shift and select everything from the bottom. This one, this way is controlling your composition after you already paste it. If you go from here and then select everything to the top, it will be upside down when you paste it. So this is a very important step. Just select everything from the top to the bottom. Hit Control C or Command C. And then in here, select this one, and it will be pasted on top of the layer that you select. Yes, paste it. It will be pasted into that one. And then just rearrange this. Rearrange it like this. Okay, so this one is as you can see, I think we have to rearrange the timing because we already have, the timing is very limited. Just hit U in here. And we want to rearrange everything in here. So for the animation, for the circle and the shadow animation, we want to make it, we want to squish it, tighten in here because we want to refill everything quite fast. And also for the animation of the icon, we want to squish it. And also the text animation. So to make everything goes along with that one. Okay. Now just go with this like this, overlapping a little bit. In here also. And with this one. Okay. So right now for the prosperous, for the piece, it will starting from about in here. Prosperous is something around here. And democratic is around here because you can see the waveform in here. Okay, let's see first if we already got it right or not.
The government of Myanmar with a theme of peaceful, prosperous, and democratic.
Okay, I think we already nailed it.
Of Myanmar with a theme of peaceful, prosperous, and democratic Myanmar.
Okay, so right now what we have to do is just yeah, I think I forgot to make this one, everything that we just paste it from the scene 4 to become a 3D, because later on we will use the 3D camera to zoom in to each of these icons. So just make sure it's on 3D, and yeah, it will be something like this, but you don't have to worry. Just hit P on it and then change the one on the right side, that is the Z index. Just make sure that it fits in the background like this. Just try to fit it in. As you can see right now, it's overlapping with the background, but it's okay. We will fix it later. Just make sure the layout is already the same that you wanted. For example, like this. And then you can select the background in here. This is happen because the Z depth of this icon is larger than the Z depth of the background. So the background will be like in front of the icon. So we will have to increase this one until it's on the background, something like this. But we will have to make sure again with this one, because when we make it on the back, it will make it smaller. So we will just have to increase that one. Okay, just checking it on the scene tree. I think it's already looking good. Nothing to change in here. Go to this one. Okay, yeah, I think it's already looking good. So right now, we just have to play on the camera itself. So, okay, let's go from this one, because we want to start the camera to zoom in from this one. So again, in the null object, hit add a keyframe, and then just go into this one, more or less, and then just zoom in, zoom the camera, and make it on the center point like this. Okay. Let's see if it's already looking good or not.
Government of Myanmar with a theme of peaceful.
Okay. We'll just see.
Of Myanmar with a theme of peaceful, prosperous.
Okay, I think this timing is already looking good. So we will add this one, add a keyframe again. And for the peaceful in here, just rearrange this one and move this one into the right side. Okay, something like that. Prosperous, and then add a keyframe again. So there is a pause between each icon, and again after the democratic icon is revealed. Okay, let's see. Let's preview this first.
Myanmar with a theme of peaceful, prosperous.
Just wait it first for to be render preview. Okay. Now let's preview it.
Myanmar with a theme of peaceful, prosperous, and democratic Myanmar.
Okay, I think it's already good on the timing, but you can try to play the timing in here. Add the timing for the pause, the timing for the transition between each icon, the moving. Just play around with this one. Okay, after you already have this democratic Myanmar, I think we will have it zoom out again into the state before. So I will make this one into the center first. Move this one on the center, and then just zoom out. That way we will have like an effect like that. Okay, and then for the transition, again we will have a short pause So we will add the keyframe in here, and we will zoom in into the peaceful in here to make it on the next scene, something like this. After we already refill one by one, we will zoom out a little bit, and then we will zoom in into the first icon to explain like the pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3, and so on. Okay, so for this one, after we already zoom out, we will zoom in again into this icon. So the same thing. Just go with this one. And then zoom in until it covers everything. Something like this. So the transition to the next scene, that is the pillar 1, will be seamless. Okay, let's preview this one. Let's preview it from the beginning.
SDG indicators data were produced by Myanmar Central Statistical Organization. Being a peaceful, prosperous, and democratic Myanmar.
Okay, let's see the preview now.
By Myanmar Central Statistical Organization, that is the starting point of SDGs. In order to accomplish these agenda, Myanmar Sustainable Development Plan 2018 to 2030 was launched by the government of Myanmar with the theme of peaceful, prosperous, and democratic Myanmar.
Okay, I think it's a little bit fast in that one, so we can add another pause in here. I will add another pause. Let's just preview it from that one. Okay, I think that's already looking good. Maybe if you want to add some animation in here, because there is a lot of empty animation in here, I think we can add anything. Maybe if you want to play around with the box or everything in here to make it more look live, I think this is good, but we will continue on in here. We will continue on to the scene 5A. So scene 5A, this is just like a scene, a very simple scene when you just refill everything. 5A, 5B, 5C, that is the same thing. So we will try to finish this one before the break. So 5A, composition retain layer sizes, and click open. So now we just double click on the 5A, and because we already have the background, we don't have to change the background for this one. Okay, so right now for this one, maybe we will use like a simple animation. So just select everything in here for the icons and hit S to scale it to 100%. Change the duration. I will zoom in the duration. And okay, I forget we have one 1 second threshold. So just change everything from to 1 second to be starting. And this 100% will become on the 2 second. And they will start from 0 from here. So you will have something like this. F9 to ease in and insert the VO in here, 5A, and start from this one. And in here, we will just rearrange this one because we want to make this one appear first. So I will rearrange this one to be on the bottom, this one on the top. So we will have something like this. So we will have that one, and that one. And now we just insert the text animation. So the text animation, let's add the text in here and go to the Illustrator and then just copy paste one by one. Copy paste this one, enter, copy paste this one. Okay, now we already have this text. Again, this text is going to become using the animation composer, using the same one, and then select that one and just rearrange this one to so we can easier for us to identify. So this one is for the pillar 1 piece. So this one goes along with this icon. And then the next one, we will just duplicate this one and arrange this one F before this with this icon, and rearrange this one and copy paste in here. So at first I'm using this one as the point type, so there is no bounding box. So when I click on this one and I paste it, it will have something like this. But if you want to make this one as a bounding box, just click on this one and then select everything. Oh, sorry, you have to use this one and then change into the horizontal type tool. Click on that one and convert to paragraph text. When you convert it, you will have this bounding box again. So when you paste that one, you can change like this. Okay, I will just repeat this one because this is a little bit confusing for the first time. So to change this one from the point type to become a paragraph text, just click this one using this one, the selection tool. Click on the horizontal type tool, and then just right click on the text and click convert to paragraph text. Now we will have this bounding box to control the paragraph of our text. Okay, just rearrange this one. Now it's already have this animation also. So I will duplicate this one and put it aligned with the icon in here and rearrange the position and just copy paste it to this one. Okay, just make sure everything on the same thing. Maybe I want to make this one overlap to
Pillar 1, peace and stability.
Yeah, because there is no voiceover for this one, so we can make it to reveal it faster. I will overlap the goal 1 and goal 2, like that. Okay, that is for the scene 5A. So for the 5B, we will do the same. Okay, so we can also copy paste a keyframe. So we can copy paste this one, just select both of the keyframe and Command C or Control C to copy it, and go to this one, and don't forget we will have 1 second threshold, so we will start everything from the first second, and then just hit select everything that you want to be paste and Command V or Control V to paste it. Now when you hit U, they already have the scale animation also, the same one as before. So just rearrange this one. I think this one is this one, so I will put it on the bottom like that. So we will have like this and this. And for this one, we will just copy it. Copy this one and paste it in here. Use the same thing, just copy paste pillar 2 and prosperity and partnership. Okay, and the same thing with the goal text. We will just copy this one first and paste it. Okay, something like that, and rearrange this one. And copy paste the text from the Illustrator. And don't forget to add the VO. This is for the 5B, and it starts from the first second. And just preview it.
Pillar 2, prosperity and partnership.
Okay, I think it's good. Let's go into the 5C. Same thing. Go to the 5C in here. Composition, retain layer sizes. Click open. Okay, we will copy paste also this one, this keyframe. Command C to copy it. Make a 1 second threshold in here, and then paste it. Now you already have this this keyframe, and then you have to rearrange this one first to make it easier for you to have the sequence. So this one is the same thing. Start from here, and this one is overlapping. And we can just copy paste this one. Copy paste everything in here because the layout is the same. So I will just copy these 3 texts and paste it into this one. And we just rearrange this. Rearrange this one into here. Rearrange this one into this one. Okay. Now, after this, we will just change the text. Pillar 3, people and planet, put it in there. Goal 4, you just using this one, just paste it in there. And for goal 5 also, just copy paste it, select it, double click, paste it into there. So the timing and the voiceover will be the same. Just preview it.
Pillar 3, people and planet.
Okay, I think it's already looking good. So we already make until scene 5, 5A, 5B, and 5C. Okay, we still have 5 minutes before break, so I will continue on to the scene 6. Maybe we can finish it today until scene 7 and rendering. Okay, scene 6. Again, this one is composition, retain layer sizes. Don't forget to change this one and make sure the create composition is checked and click open. And in scene 6, just copy paste it and change the background. Go to composition setting. The background will become white. Okay, let's see the composition 6 first, the animation. So after we already have pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3. Now it have like this. So we will have like scale it up, scale down to it, and then refill the text and the icon one by one. Okay, so right now we will have this one first. So the maps will become like a big one. So we will have a scale in here. And go to the first second. And in the 0 second, we will make it large. Maybe around like this. And then you can go, is that one too? Maybe we have to make it a lot bigger. Okay, I think that's good enough. And we want to make this one have like a very slow animation to make it smaller. And don't forget to put the VO first so you can see the duration, total duration. So I think this one. So until 8 seconds, this one will zoom out, but just by a little, just to make sure that there is an animation in there.
The Myanmar Sustainable Development Plan was created based on Sustainable Development Goals framework.
Okay, something like that. So in this one, we have to prepare everything for the icon first. So let's select everything, except the maps in here, and just go with this 1 second threshold. Okay, I think we can stop for a while until this step, and we will continue this one after the break. Karian, are we gonna take a break first?
Yes, Mas Dharma. We will take a break for 10 minutes. So it will be continue on 11:10.
Okay. Thank you. See you.
Okay, thank you, Mas Dharma. See you later in 11:10.
Okay, Varian, can we
Okay.
start again?
Yes, it's already 11:10. So please start. Continue, Mr.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's continue. I will start share the screen again. Okay, for this scene, we already prepare everything. So we just need to animate this one first. So let's animate this first. So to animate this line, actually we can use some effects on it. And the effects, we can use something like before, using a trim pad, but I will show you the other way around. So we can use this one. We can use go to the effect and preset, and then search for linear wipe. So linear wipe is an animation that just wiping in linear from one point to another point to refill something. And this one is not just for like a line, but maybe if you have some like an image or maybe like an icon, you can use this one also. So it will have like a wiping animation from one point to another point. And use this one, the transition linear wipe, not using the animation preset. Okay, and then just drag and drop this one into the layer. And then you will have this one, linear wipe. And when you already give this one, it's actually there, it's already give you the animation. So just hit U. Oh, sorry. If you use the transition animation preset, it will already give you the animation. But if you give this one, there is no animation yet. So to create that animation, we will start with this one. So the wipe angle is the angle of how you want this one to be wiped, the angle of the wipe. So we will make it this one into a 0. So it will begin from the top. Just add 0 in there. And then you can play around with this one. The transition complete. We will start from 100% and just add this keyframe. At this keyframe, and to see this one, the keyframe on this one, just hit U. Okay, this one is 100%, and we will make it 1 second to become 0. So we will have something like this, and you can hit with F9 to ease in, and then we will animate also for the icons. So just select the icons, and we will begin from this one. And the icons is just using a scale. So add a keyframe, move the keyframe to 1 second, and add this one to become 0. And you can add this one also with the F9, and then just rearrange this one to fill in the animation for the entire voiceover. Maybe I will use this one. Sorry, this one just like this. So just preview that one.
The Myanmar Sustainable Development Plan was created based on Sustainable Development Goals framework.
Okay, I make a mistake. I have to rearrange this one first because right now it's on from the bottom to top. So I will rearrange this one. So this is some trick. So if you want to rearrange everything, some layers to become on the same position again in here, just click on this one, click everything, And then on the keyboard, just hit the square bracket, the opening square bracket beside the P key. So it will make it something like this, and we will just rearrange this one. Put the layer 5 on top, the layer 4 on the bottom on it, and like this. And then we just rearrange this one. Okay, let's preview that one first. We have already make it.
Based on sustainable development goals framework.
Okay, I think it's already good. Now we just add the text on it. So the text, I will just use this one, and I will copy paste it from this one. Copy paste the SDG, and then before we begin the other one, we just add the animation. Okay, and this SDG will go along with the line, and I will make it a little bit faster and just rearrange this one into the position that you want. I will put it in here, and I will duplicate this one and put it in here, and just copy the MSDP, because the SDG and MSDP will have the same timing to be appeared. So when the line is being refilled, it will refill also the SDG and MSDP title, like that. And then for this one, we can just duplicate it and rearrange that one and put it on the same thing in here, and just put it below and change the text. This one is for 3 pillars, and this one is also 3 pillars. I see this one, because we are let me copy this one first and copy this one, because I'm copying with the same text. They still think they're using this 3 pillars text. Okay, just rearrange this one, and then you can duplicate it again and put it on top of this one, rearrange with the layer, and just put it in there and copy paste it. Again, duplicate it again, rearrange with the layer, and rearrange the position. Copy paste the text. Okay, and the last one, we just duplicate this one, put it on the top, rearrange with the layer, with the icons, and rearrange the position, and copy paste the text. Okay, I will fix the position first. Okay, like this. And let's just preview it if it already looking good or not.
The Myanmar Sustainable Development Plan was created based on sustainable development. The Myanmar Sustainable Development Plan was created based on Sustainable Development Goals Framework.
Okay, that's it for this one. I think we have to prolong this one because the text is a bit longer. So you can prolong this one, maybe like double it, like this. Okay, let's preview it again.
Was created based on Sustainable Development Goals Framework. Was created based on Sustainable Development Goals Framework.
Okay, that's it. For this scene, I think it's already looking good. I will put the N in there. So let's work on to the final scene, that is scene 7. So if you don't have any space lying around in here, you can double click on this one in here. So you can just open up the import scene, import window in here, and click open that one. Okay, so in the scene 7, because we have the image, as you can see in the preview, there is a photo in here. We will use the photo. We will import the image also. So we will use, like, we have create a folder, and you can create image in here, and we will put all the image. Also, if you want to have the image, I think we have it under this one in the scene 7 folder. In the footage, we already have the image here. So you can copy it from there. But in my case, I will just download it and I put it in here. So all the image in here, I will just drag and drop it into the folder. So we will have the image in here. So before we put the image into the scene, just make sure we add the VO first. Put the VO and put the VO in the first second in here, like this. So we'll know how long the duration that we have to put the image animation on. So select every image in here and just put it into the animation in like this one. And in here, we will just, as you can see, this is the composition and this is the image. It's quite big. So just reduce it until all visible. So if you have something like this, just make all the picture on the same sizes, more or less. Don't have to be exact. Okay, so right now there is 5 image like this. So the next thing that we want to do is add a scale. So select all the image. The image will have this icon. Hit S to scale and add the keyframe and just add maybe because this will be about around 13 seconds and we have 5 image. So 5 image per for one image, it will have around about 3 to 4 seconds. So I will just take 4 seconds for each image, and I will enlarge it a little bit, maybe around with just adding 10 or 15%. Okay, something like that. You can add like the F9 also in here. And then we will add the opacity, but the opacity is just for the image above. At the bottom, we don't need because it's already been shown before. So select 4 of the top image and just add Shift T in here. And at the beginning, just add the opacity 100% and put it 0% after that. So it will have like a fade out. And you can just ease in that one also. And just rearrange this one. Rearrange in here, like this, or maybe if you have something like that, just rearrange that one so all the images have the same timing, more or less. If we have some exceeding something like this, it's fine. Just make sure everything have the same timing. Okay, maybe something like that. So it will have like zoom in quite slowly, and then it will be changed with another image. And as you can see, sometimes it will a little bit heavy because if you have something like this, there is 5 layers that be animated together. So as you can see, this layer will not be visible after this one. So we can just cut this one. So to cut a layer, you just use hold down the Alt, and then the keyboard, in the keyboard, use the square bracket, but for the closing of square bracket, that is in the below the delete or the plus sign. Just use that one, something like that. The same thing with this one. We can just use this one like this, and this one. This is just to make our CPU not working as much as this one. If they have to render everything, so they just render everything that just goes from that one, something like that. Okay, so in the preview, there is black opacity in here, so we can create that black opacity also. So on the top image, click on the top image and click on the layer new solid, and then just go with the black one in here, click OK. The solid will create a solid color based on our chosen color before, and then in here just hit T for the opacity and turn down the opacity, maybe about 80% or less, maybe 70%. So you will have like that one. Everything below that layer will have like a black opacity on it. Okay, so right now, the one that we have to do is creating the animation for the text. So we will create the text in here and copy paste it again from the Illustrator. Copy paste this one. Okay. Go to Animation Composer and have the same animation in here. Okay, and I will put this one on the bottom like this, but on top of the black solid. Don't forget, if you go this one below the black solid, the text will have the black opacity also. Okay, this one, I will start it from this one. Okay, and then for each of these icon, we will have the scale up animation. So just select everything for the icon, click the keyframe, add like more about 3/4 second, like this one. And at the beginning, it will become 0. Okay, and make this one an ease and start from the first second. Okay, right now we can rearrange this one first. Just rearrange this one, and this one is the threshold, so I will put until this one, maybe around like this. Just make sure everything have the same rhythm in here. So you will have like a rhythm for the refill in animation for each of the icon. Okay, I think that's it. But if you want to make it a bit longer, I think you can. I will rearrange again. Actually, there is a plugin for this one if you want, if you wanted to make everything on to be rearranged automatically, but it is a paid plugin. It will make your life easier too, but yeah, let's keep it simple for right now. Okay, so I will have like this one. So there is an icon like this, appear one by one, and then we will just create the, the text for each of the icon. So duplicate this one, rearrange this in here, and then just copy paste it from the Illustrator. Okay, put it in there, rearrange with the layer, and then just make it a little bit fast. Okay, duplicate it, rearrange with the layer, again with this one. Or maybe you want to select everything, something like this, and then just duplicate it first. And we will changing the text later on. Just try to rearrange everything. You can move the things with the arrow also, and shift if you want to make it faster. I will put it this one a little bit on top. Okay, just rearrange everything first. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, we already make rearrange the thing. So we now just copy paste it. We paste it in here. Paste this one. Okay, now we're already done with this one. Let's see the preview first.
There are 13 tasks to throw.
Okay,
There are
let's see.
13 task teams to develop a national indicator framework that have been conducted with aligned ministries and international organizations by Central Statistical Organization, CSO, as the leading agency.
Okay, sometimes when we have a long text like this or something like people have to look at this one, maybe we have to give them some time also, so we don't have to fill every voiceover with the animation. So to make them just digest the information in here. So like this, for example, like this one, we already finished everything, every animation until this one. So yeah, with this one, the people will have some time to digest everything again in here before they move into the next scene. Okay, so now we already finished every scene. So to compose everything, we will make a new composition. So you can create this one, click on this one to create a new composition, or you can go to the composition, new composition in here. I will use this one. Okay, so because this one will be like a final composition where everything will be put in here. So yeah, again, this one, the width and the height will have to be the same. Frame rate is the same, and the duration in here will become like, because this will be like the combination for every scene. So I will put the duration about maybe 2 minutes to have some saves time. So 2 minutes and click OK. And you can rename this one. I forgot to rename before. Just click on this one and click enter. So usually I will name it final composition. So everything will be composite in here. So we will just go with this one, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because everything in here is already made from each of this scene. So when I go with the final composition and I put the scene 1 in here, I will be putting in the first scene. This is the color of the composition, that is brown one. So every things that we already make in the scene 1, we can see it also from here. And this is the magic. So when I will just close everything in here except the final composition to make it more easier for us to see. So this will render everything. As you can see, there is a lot of things that we don't want to be here. So to make sure that every scene just use the right timing, after you already put it in here, just double click on this one. Double click it and it will open the scene 1. And just move this one, move the time slider until the correct position or the correct timing that you want. Maybe you want it in here to be the mark of the end of the scene 1, and then just get back to the final composition. Now you will have the same exact timing also in here. So in here, just put it, you can shrink this one. This one is to cut the composition. So the same thing with this one. So when you shrink this one, just hold down shift and it will lock into the time slider in here. You can also play around with this one to zoom in the duration. Okay, and then the second one, the scene 2, just put it on top of it. and just make sure that you put it in here like this. So later on, it will have something like this. But because we want to overlapping it, remember that we create the 1 second threshold. So you can overlapping this one with 1 second in 1 second. So just overlapping this one, it from the beginning and the end. So you will have 1 second in here like this, more or less. And then in here, if we want to make like a transition from this one to this one, we will just make this with an opacity. So just add the opacity and put it in here, and add this one opacity to 0, and you can ease in on that one. And so for this one, we will have some opacity like that. So that is the transition for that one. Let's just preview that one.
The SDGs. The SDGs 20.
Okay, I think it's already looking good. So that's it for the transition for that one. Again, for the second, for the scene 2, you can just double click it and add the slider. So for this one, go back again to the final composition. It will be the same timing. And the shortcut to cut it is Alt and close bracket and close bracket. It will have something like that. It will cut it in here. And you just put the scene 3 like this, overlapping it again, make it the same thing like this one, and just add the opacity. So I will just copy paste this one and paste it in here. Rearrange this one until you have something like this. So when this one is, you will have something like that. So because there is, like I said, everything that goes in the background is transparency. So you will have something like this. The one that you can do is like adding the opacity also in here. So you will have opacity and this one to be 0. This is the easiest one. So you will have something like that, and you will have stitching the scene 2 to scene 3. And also for this one, we can double click it and see until we have something like this. Okay, and then back to the final composition until this one, and Alt close bracket to cut it. And then we skip scene 4 because scene 4 is already on scene 3. So we just go to the scene 5 in here. So in scene 5, we put scene 5 in there. So whenever the scene 5 is already started, but because there is 1 second threshold, I will just shrink this node down. So it will have something like that. And again, in scene 5A, we will just add maybe around here. Go to the final composition and close it. 5B, same thing. Until you get, so for the 5B, because we want to make it like slightly, slight right to slide to become a slide right. So we will make it this one in a 3D. So you can go to the layer, new camera. We'll add the camera 3D in here. Layer, new, null object. And we will make this one a 3D. And we will pick whip the 3D in here. And we will make the scene 5A and B as a 3D. And then to make this one to become have a slide right, so the scene 5B, I will put it in here like this. So when I go right here and put the null for the position, and then through right here, I can just move like this. Move it like this. It will move also the scene. You can use the F9. And again, for this one, I think I will go through this one. So I will cut this one and put 5C also in there, overlapping it, and make it 3D. And just rearrange the scene 5C like this. And in here, I will add the keyframe at the beginning and just add something like this. Okay, so we will have like that and like that. Okay, I think that's it. For the rest, like scene 6, scene 7, you have to put it something like that, as I mentioned before. So because we have just 7 minutes, maybe I have like 2 or 3 minutes again to explain to you for rendering. So yeah, after this one, if you want to put the background music, you have to put it in the final composition, not on the composition itself. So you will have to the music, or you can find it in this video material music folder. This one I already downloaded. So you can go with corporate ambient in here and open. And just put it on the bottom of the corporate in the composition, the final that if you want to add the so you can go to the audio in here, and the audio level, usually I just use -8 decibels, so it will not very distorting the voiceover, but still you can hear it. Let's just try a little bit on the beginning. Okay, let's just try.
SDG implementation.
I think my RAM is already full, but yeah, you get the idea, because we just have to make this -8 to have to make it not distracting the voice. So after you already have the finished animation, and maybe you want to finish it until this one in here, so the After Effects will know will stop rendering. So in here. And then save to Adobe Media Encoder. Download the After Effects, you will download this one also. So just click on this one. But this is only for the Mac user. If you have it in the Windows user, you add to render QE. Add to render QE, and just in the output module in here, just click on this one. You will have the format QuickTime. Change this one into H264. That is the operation method too. But if you want to use in the Mac, you can just use the QuickTime, and then you can upload it into the YouTube also. This is a very big file size. So if you are using a Mac, not using this one, but you can use the Adobe Media Encoder, wait until it's loaded in here. But if you are a Windows user, and there is an H264 in here, just click on that one, and then here, just click on this one to save the file into the saved folder that you want, and then click render. Wait it until finish, and you will have this view. But if you are using the Adobe Media Encoder, just wait until this is loaded in here. And I think it's take a look long enough. So maybe to wait this one, I will just explain to you on how you, if you want to use, if you want to get like or illustration, something like that. The first alternative, you can go to the free pick. Free pick is everything free in here, but you have to use like an attribution for every image or every icon illustration that you already download in here. You can search for maybe like, you can download this one, social media icon. It will be usually it will be on Factor, so you can open it in Adobe Illustrator. Everything in here is mostly free, but if you encounter the icon with the crown in here, it means that you have to be a premium member. So you have to subscribe it to download this one. And when you already subscribe it, you don't have to give the attribution. But for example, if you want to use this icon, this is the free one. You can download it free, but you need to attribute the owner of this one. So when you click download it and free download, you will have to give the attribute somewhere in your video or maybe in your caption for this one. But if you are Go Premium, you don't have to give an attribution, and you already download this one and you can use it. Or the other one, this is the one that I usually use. This is the Elements Envato. This one is a premium one, so you have to subscribe it. I think it's about $15 per month, and you can have everything in here, from the stock video templates for After Effects, music, sound effect, and icons. This is like a Shutterstock, but a bigger library, and a lot of a cheaper one rather than Shutterstock. So maybe this one can be your alternative if you use it a lot. I think this is a good investment because you have the access for everything in here. And for the license, as long as you already subscribe it, and then you want to download something, maybe for something like this, when you click download, you will have to create a new project. For example, if you want to use this one for the state project, just create new project and add the download. So you will have the license for that state project as long as you just download it in the state period when you subscribe it, and the length of your project, it's still on the license for that project. But if you want to add it in the next project, as long as you subscribe it, you can create the new project in here. And after maybe you just have subscribed it 1 month, if you discontinue the next month, the one that you already downloaded in that state project is still have that license for that project. But if you want to start a new project, you have to subscribe it more. Okay, I think that's it for me. Let's see if, I think there is an error. Maybe there is a RAM issue for me. So for this one, after you already add to media encoder QE, it should be appear in here. And yeah, you just click render and it will be on your here in your folder. The name of your After Effects file, it will be AME in here, and it will render in here, something like that. And you will have something like MP4 like this. Okay, I think that's it. We already exceed the time limit for today. Okay, Parian, I give the floor back to you.
Thank you, Mas Dharma, and thank you for all participants that still following this workshop. So now, before we close, we open for any question from AMS, please. So if there is no question, I think Batari maybe want to speak, please.
Okay, thank you, Mas Rian, and thank you also, Mas Dharma. So to all the participants, I have sent a link on the chat box. If you could please check. It is evaluation form from Arise Plus. So please fill in so we can take a look, and in the future we can improvise and make the training even better for you. I will send also the link to the email. So if you cannot access it today or right this time, you can access it later on. But will be appreciated if you could please fill in the form by the end of today. Thank you.
Thank you, Batari. Again, we open for any question from AMS.
Hi, Mr. Rian.
Yes, please.
I'm Fakria from Malaysia. Hi, Mr. Rama. By the way, can I contact you after this course?
Oh, yeah.
To get more explanation about the video or the preparation in doing the video, since the course is directly we call just learning process, which is we don't have any hands-on.
Yeah. Thank you, Malaysia. Actually, that's the idea. After this workshop, we still open the communication from IMS to the expert. If you have any question, Dharma will respond the question from the IMS until when, Mas Dharma? 1 month, 1 year?
I'm open for this one.
For
1 month or 2 months? 3 months,
so
maybe?
2 months.
2 months.
2 months,
okay.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So starting from now, Dharma still will open the question from IMS via email. The email already sent to in the chat box. Please also copy to stats@asean.org for any communication to Dharma. So I also type here, it will be 2 months starting from now. from now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question, please? If no other question, Paika, perhaps you want to give the closing remark?
Okay, thank you, Rian. Finally, we come to arrive at the end of the event. For closing remark, first and foremost, I would like to express my appreciation to our trainer, Mr. Dharma, for the valuable lecture to our training in the second regional training on motion graphic for the statistical dissemination over the last 3.5 days. Yeah, yeah. Training virtually give us more challenge. However, in my opinion, we can overcome most of those challenges. And I thanks all the participants who have attended the training and raised pertinent question. I would like to congratulate all of you for your participation and active engagement in the learning experience. Dharma, sorry, not Dharma. Rian, I think we can circulate email for the conclusion of this training. Involve the link of YouTube, email to Dharma, and how long Dharma will respond to the question from the member state.
Yes, Paika. Within this week, ASEANstats will send the email to MS for the what we still can do after this workshop, including the communication to the expert, and also the recording video. Also, actually, we already published to ASEANstats YouTube, so we will also give the ASEANstats YouTube link related to this workshop in the email as well.
Yeah. Okay. If there is no question from the member state and no additional notes, we can conclude this event. Thank you for Dharma, to all participants, and special thanks to Arise Plus that have support this activity. Thank you. Stay safe and healthy. See you again in the next event.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tari.
Thank you, Pak. Aku end aja ya. Nggak ada
Yeah.
yang mau didiskusikan lagi?
Yeah.
Oke, aman. Terima kasih.
Yeah, okay.
Terima kasih, Mbak Tari.
Terima kasih.
See you later.
Thank you.